Edwin Díaz is gone! And you know what we're going to do? We had Edwin Díaz having one of his best seasons and a patched up bullpen.
It's New York Minutes Score.
We kept getting in shit pitcher after shit pitcher after shit pitcher. Now we have Devin Williams, a shit pitcher, and we're going to have nothing but shit pitchers.
Coming into town in 2020 as Steve Cohen on a white knight on a white horse, here to save the day. But from an outside perspective and from a New York Yankees fan perspective, I don't see much has changed. And my question to you and all the Met fans, let me know in the comments below. Did Steve Cohen just buy the Mets to get a casino out of the deal? Or is he a true fan who wants to see good for the New York Mets? Mike, you let Pete Alonso walk out the door today, 5 years, $155 million to the Baltimore Orioles. You just had Diaz. Diaz, is it? He left yesterday, went to the LA Dodgers so they can build Voltron. How are we feeling? How is the state of a Met fan right now?
I was probably the wrong Met fan to have on your show today because I am ecstatic. I think exactly the cutthroat, the ruthless level that David Stearns is going with right now of screw your emotions, screw your fan base, screw it all, because I'm breaking this up. I came here 2 years ago. I was hired by Cohen to evaluate the talent on this roster, evaluate the bad contracts that were on this roster, and now I'm starting to gut the garbage that's been on this roster. The only consistent thing that's been on this roster, and that's the core of this Met team.
The New York Mets, the way that it's been laid out hasn't been good. They might have want to warm up their fans a little bit here.
Yeah.
You know, like what happened was, and correct me if I'm wrong, the mission statement that I heard from Met fans and all over sports talk radio here in the New York area was that we need to get Diaz back, we need to get Pete Alonso back, then we go out and get more and we add. I was saying this on my channel, New York Minute, on YouTube and Instagram, that we need, the last 2 years, the Mets and the Yankees have been stuck in getting back to homeostasis. The New York Mets are just trying to get back to what they had last year with Diaz and Alonso, but apparently to you, man, you're not happy with last year, and you're happy that they're breaking up the New York Mets, because I think this move would piss me off as a Met fan endlessly. So tell me exactly what the reason, other than Stearns, what's Cohen thinking? What's the pulse of the town? Because I know Met fans are pissed.
So I'm going to take you to a quick timeline with the New York Mets. Steve Cohen buys the team at the end of 2020. His first full offseason, not much to do after the COVID year. 2021, they win 77 games. 2022, under Billy Epler, at the time, they win 101 games. This core chokes down the line. They have the great pitching. They had Scherzer. They had Chris Bassett. They had multiple guys on this team that were Jacob deGrom. Everybody choked, including the core of this team when it came down to hitting. They got killed in the postseason by the Padres. 2023, everybody underperformed. Injuries underperformed. Everything sucked. 2024 was the fluke year, the first year under David Stearns. And maybe getting to the NLCS wasn't the greatest thing for this team. But the first year under Stearns, he was here to evaluate it. He was here to evaluate the guys on this team. And I think, going back to your initial question, which is more than just Stearns, okay? You got to cut the emotion out of it. If the Mets start 50-32 next year, no one's going to give two shits about where Pete Alonso is. No one's going to give two craps about where Brandon Nimmo is, hobbling over there in right field in Texas with plantar fasciitis. This had to be done. Okay, and I'm not going to tell one quick thing. I'm not going to tell Mets fans how to feel.
Take your time. You're a Met fan. The house is yours tonight, baby. Go.
I'm just telling you how I feel, and what I feel is 6 years of the core being consistently on this team, one fluke year getting to the postseason, one 101 win season getting to the postseason, and then they're getting embarrassed by the Padres. That's all I've seen for the last 6 years, and that's not on Stearns, because he hasn't been here for more than 2 years. I am so happy right now that these guys, I'm going to be watching something new, something different, something of age now with David Stearns and how he builds it. And if people don't think Cohen and Stearns care, they grew up Mets fans. If anybody should not be running a team, it should be the screaming guy that says, pay Pete Alonso because he's your homegrown guy. Pay him, give him $500 million, give him $600 million. No. Let the Orioles do it. The Orioles needed Pete Alonso more than the Mets did.
So this is why the Jets and the Mets are always the same team. It's very similar to what they just did with Sauce Gardner and Quinn Williams. What happened was a lot of Jet fans were like, man, we can't give up Sauce Gardner. We can't give up Williams, our defensive tackle. These guys are cornerstone kind of dudes. But then me as a Jet fan, I'm turning around and going, but what have we won with these guys in the fucking building? They're not winning players. And that was with the problem with Sauce Gardner and Williams. And you saw the turnaround immediately with the New York Jets as soon as those guys left town. Now, you're starting to see that similar with the Mets. We keep hearing more and more stories about this locker room, Mike. This seems like a chemistry move. Everybody was scratching their head last year going, what the hell is going on with the Mets? Why are the Mets collapsing? I know the pitching, it was right in front of your eyes, the pitching collapse, but we knew that there was something else going on. It didn't look like these guys were having a lot of fun. You know what? And when you said that the New York Mets did not help their case when they went to the playoffs, and it was the worst thing that happened to them, I couldn't agree with you more. You're 100% right, Mike. You know why? Because it's kind of like when the New York Giants went against the Vikings in the playoffs, and they won that first round game, right?
Yep.
When the New York Giants, they had no business doing that year. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, Mr. Torn ACL, he got lightning in a bottle. Saquon Barkley, they finally put it together for one season. And then what did you have the next year? It was a hot shit dumpster fire with Saquon Barkley leaving, a beloved Giant, just like Pete Alonso. There's a lot of parallels to New York sports, man. And you know what? As a Yankee fan, I don't understand. We said this last night on the live broadcast, and I'll say it again. I don't understand why you guys can't understand the intimidation factor that Diaz brings to the New York Mets. Now, I will grant you some grace saying that I don't think Diaz wanted to be a fucking Met anymore.
That's what it seemed like. Yeah, it seemed like he just took the biggest deal and then said to the Mets, I'm not coming back to you. I want to enjoy LA. I want to enjoy winning. That falls more on the Mets as a franchise more than anything else because of the position that they possibly put Diaz in to feel more comfortable heading to Los Angeles for only $3 million more. But I want to, if I could grab a comment from here about somebody saying, the muted growl said, they lost 2 of 3 to the Padres. How is that embarrassing? The end of 2022, the Mets had a lead in the National League East from pretty much May on, and then completely choked with every one of the hitters on that team going cold for the last 2 weeks of the season. They go into Atlanta, they forget how to hit completely, and they get swept by the Braves and lose the division to the point where they had to play the Padres again, where they forgot how to hit, and everybody on the core didn't do an effing thing in the playoffs. They won 1 game out of 3 to the wildcard Padres team. And then one more, I apologize.
No, please. Yo, dude, it's yours, man. You're a Met fan. Please, I brought you here to vent, and I brought you here to let the people know, Mike. Go ahead.
Steve Cohen is ruining the franchise. He doesn't care about the team. He only cares about money in the casino. Steve Cohen doesn't need to own the Mets. So if we could just use our noodles for 2 seconds. Steve Cohen doesn't need to own the Mets. This isn't some sort of hobby. He didn't need to go through what he went through to purchase the Mets, which was hell. It took a lot for him to get the Mets. It took a crap load of votes for him with the other owners to get. He didn't have to go through all that. And then I know Soto is an unbelievable player, but the Mets lost their.
Hold on a second. I want to touch on the Steve Cohen thing before we go.
Yeah,
we keep moving to the comments. You might want to roll that back a little bit about buying the Mets. This whole thing was for him to get a casino, dude.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe
okay, so let's expand on that. Dude, this guy's a billionaire. All right. If you think that him buying a sports franchise moves the needle for him at all, I don't think it does. This was a multi-step process of Steve Cohen entering the sports arena just to get at the casino, bro. Really, honestly, I could see Cohen doing this whole move, and in 3 years, he sells the New York Mets.
I would bet against
What makes you think that he did not do this? Because I have not seen any improvement with the New York Mets.
It's not like he hasn't spent the money to try to improve them.
Yeah, but okay. This is the thing. Dude, you got to remember the narrative, and you got to remember all the storylines. And I know that you weren't saying this, but people were talking about this. The new kid in town, as soon as Steve Cohen comes in here, it's going to be a fucking wrap for the Yankees. As soon as Steve Cohen comes in here, we're going to be the bells of the ball, and you guys are going to be beckoned to our call now. Dude, it literally looks like a guy with that amount of money, it's a no-brainer to go get Pete Alonso and Edwin Díaz. I don't care what my fucking general manager says, because I cannot say no to 40 home runs a year. If I have all the money in the world and Pete Alonso still wants to play for my franchise, which he does, I would have went out and signed the guy. I would have went, if Cohen really gave a shit, he would have heard Diaz didn't want to be a fucking Met. Back up the truck and give him 200 mil, because the guy's worth $36 billion, Mike. And you know what? You got this job, and when I heard we have an endless budget, but now you're running the team like the Milwaukee Brewers. The Milwaukee Brewers didn't win shit under Stearns. They're actually winning more with him gone now, and now, I don't know, as a Met fan, I would not be happy with this. I know you're a lot more level-headed than I. That's why I have you on the show. But, Mike, you don't see not a tinge of anger coming from you.
No, I have no anger at all. I mean, under Stearns, Milwaukee had its best 4-year stretch in like franchise history, building that team from what it was and making the moves that he made with half the budget that he's playing with now. Saying that they don't want to spend the money, they're constantly number 1 or 2 in payroll since Cohen bought the team. So it's not about spending money. And Cohen doesn't need to sit here and lose $300 million a year by owning the New York Mets. And as a business owner, let me ask you, if you've seen the consistency or the inconsistency of this franchise, and you're hemorrhaging, I don't want to say the word hemorrhaging.
No, it's okay. How money?
If you're losing $250 to $300 million per season on this franchise,
yeah,
and you're not seeing winning, you just saw a team miss the playoffs. Why am I going to pour $35 million into Pete Alonso? Why am I going to pour $40 million or $30 million into Edwin Díaz? Why am I going to continue to do the same crap that I've been doing under 3 general managers now, and I'm not seeing any return on my investment? Maybe it's time to listen to the guy who's drafted and developed great pitching, good position players. Yes, they haven't won World Series. I get that. It's World Series or bust. But sign me up for the playoffs every year. Sign me up.
Mike, how does Lindor get a pass in all this, bro?
He doesn't. He's just a part of the inconsistency as everybody else is.
So Lindor's got this bloated, insane contract. Why not try to move Lindor? And then
you're talking to the wrong guy, because I would do it in 2 seconds.
Well, I know what he means. Please expand on that.
I would, dude. There is no when they missed. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. After game 162 this past season, I said everything aside from Juan Soto and Nolan McLean were on the table for the New York Mets. You don't spend $350 million and win 83 games and squeak your way against the Marlins and have a team like the Reds overtake you to make the playoffs. You don't do that. Everything's on the table now. I've seen enough of this core. Something had to change.
Well, what's the move after this?
What's the move? That's like the $300 million question, right?
Because now the winter meetings have come and gone. The fucking Yankees didn't do shit either. You know,
a lot of teams didn't do anything, really.
Nobody, dude, everyone's in a fucking foxhole with the strike coming up.
Yeah, everyone's scared.
I really think, dude, like either you're going to have half of the people trying to win a World Series next year to get that World Series monetary nut and then have a year off, or you're going to board up the windows. You're going to put the sandbags up because the hurricane's coming. And the hurricane's going to be the collective bargaining agreement in 2027. And fucking Tony Clark's already on TV, bro. This is going to get really bad. I'm telling you, man, this strike is going to be really bad. And with the reverberations of the pandemic and still on the franchises, when they missed that whole year of revenue, Guys like Hal Steinbrenner, I know, who are only worth $3 billion, are still licking their wounds from that. And if there's going to be no baseball next year, how much money are you going to lose? That might be sell the team time.
Yeah, dude, I think you're spot on. Because I'm looking at, I'm just looking at we're going to lose the entire season at this point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's 16 months away, and we still have a whole season in front of us. But man, I'm telling you guys, this is, and we have no power over it. And I literally gave up hockey because they locked out and strikes so much in my lifetime. In 2003, that's when I finally gave up watching it. I was a diehard Ranger fan. I'll do the same with baseball, man. If baseball fucks around and does this again and thinks that it can get away with it, baseball is just coming back. And it's very eerily similar to 1994 when the Yankees and the Expos were doing well. And now this is what we got to deal with. The New York Yankees need to make a trade ASAP, dude. And it's not because I'm an impatient Yankee fan. It's not because I got my toe tapping here. It's because they need to get this team better ASAP. If you look at the roster that the New York Yankees have right now and that the New York Mets have right now, it's a joke.
It is.
Where are you guys gonna make up 40 home runs and a guy that plays 154 games a year?
I'm more focused on you're 100% right about the stats could be made up for in multiple ways, though. And I'm more concerned about, yes, the consistency of him being on the field and being available. That's the number that is more concerning in my eyes. But the Mets got 4 home runs and 16 RBIs from center field last year. How about upgrading center field? And
that's another thin spot in Major League Baseball, dude.
And how about you dive into upgrading that spot and then pairing that with another first baseman? You're not replacing Pete Alonso stat for stat. I completely understand it.
Do you see how long the Yankees have been looking for a first baseman?
Yeah.
Very long time. We haven't really theoretically had a first baseman since Mark Teixeira left. Greg Bird, fucking Rizzo, the list goes on and on. I have to admit, in a devalued position where there isn't a lot of people, I don't know, man. It just makes, you know what? When you said that his stats are misleading, that's like Jazz Chisholm on the New York Yankees. You look at that guy's 30 home runs, you're like, holy dog shit, this guy's amazing. We got to get him. That's why I want to trade him, because it looks deceiving. I know what you're saying. But on the other coin of this, it's just like you don't know how good Juan Soto is until you see him play every day. And you got to see that this year. You got to see the caliber of Juan Soto. You're like, holy shit, this guy lives on first base.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, listen, man, I know it's still early. It's not even Christmas yet. But both of these teams are not spending. Your contracts and salary is a lot crazier than the New York Yankees. We were going down the contracts of the New York Yankees last night. Bro, they're not paying anyone.
No, they're just paying pitching. And the best player in baseball, in my opinion, is making only $40 million a year.
Yeah, and scrambled egg brains, bone chips, Carlos Rodon is making $36 million a year. Make that make sense. Would you like okay. Would you like a nice young left-hander? He's a good guy,
It would be funny if
how about Rodon for Senga?
Yeah, I would do that because I could rely on Rodon hopefully for like 25 starts.
How much does Senga make?
$15 million. Actually, never mind. It's the contract's too good.
That's what I'm saying. I'll take Senga over Carlos Rodon any day of the week because you guys might think I'm crazy, but once it comes to postseason time, scrambled eggs brains, Carlos Rodon cannot come up in the big spot. He's farther from Super Troopers, and if you look at his ERA in a big spot, it's awful. All right, let's go. I'm going to go to some of the comments here. Riley, Steve Cohen is ruining the franchise. He doesn't care about the team. He only cares about the money and the casino. Let us know in the comments, guys. Sound off. I'll read it on the show. Met fans, if you're just joining us live, we got New York Minute Sports. We got Mike from PudgyBoyz Sports on Instagram, guys, right here on YouTube. We have the New York Mets. They let Pete Alonso walk. They let Diaz walk yesterday. Are the Mets in free fall? Did Cohen just buy the Mets for the casino? We got a bunch of storylines here, and I know Met fans, we want to hear from you, so bring the comments and bring the opinions, and I'll put them on the show. All right, so Here we go with the casino BS. The guy's a super fan, dude. I don't know what that means. Do you mean that here we go with the casino BS? So he didn't buy the team because of the casino? So I don't know. See, this is what happens when you go to the comments.
Yes, I just don't believe the casino is the. I mean, I believe that a multi-billionaire is able to manage a casino and a baseball team. Like I'm not. I don't think it's. I don't think he just wants the casino and then he has no reason for the Mets.
Well, that pretty much leaves us with the fact that you are in a full rebuild now, and that Stearns is going to rebuild the New York Mets in his own image. So what does that even entail? I don't, but like, how can you be so confident in a plan that you don't even?
No, yeah, that's a great question. I'm of the ilk of the David Stearns ilk. I was a huge fan of his in Milwaukee. I'm gonna just keep going back to that because that's the only consistency I've seen. He was a part of building up the Astros when he was there, not as the general manager, but as a portion of it, which got him hired in Milwaukee. And I'm sorry, I don't know what high horse the Met fan is on that they get bummed out when they're just talking playoffs. And I just don't understand. Playoffs.
Playoffs. Well, you know what? I know that you might not be hurting that much, right? But there's somebody that's hurting a little bit, Mike.
Oh, screw him.
He's hurting a lot of bit. My favorite dude, my favorite guy, I love Frank the Tank. Let's see what Frank had to say about this move today.
Edwin Díaz is gone. And you know what we're going to do? We had Edwin Díaz having one of his best seasons and a patched up bullpen. We kept bringing in shit pitcher after shit pitcher after shit pitcher. Now we have Devin Williams, a shit pitcher, and we're going to have nothing but shit pitchers. They're not going to sign anybody. Alonso gone. Nimmo gone. We got a 230 hitting second baseman. That's all we got to.
So my question is, dude, why do you need to have, when you have a champagne wallet, why do you need to have beer taste? Okay? Like,
I love beer.
Dude, you're not in a small market. Like, I know that Cohen is spending money, but like, you don't have any fucking pitching. Like, why aren't you in on Scooble right now? Like, why aren't you? Why didn't you get Dylan Cease right off the bat? Like, why?
It's December 10th.
Did you say it's December 10th? That's your answer?
It's December 10th, and nobody else is making moves right now. Not saying that doesn't mean I have to be aggressive and go out and get everybody, but I didn't. Again, I'm not just going to go out and give contracts because of a weakness of last year. I'm not handing it like Joe Beningo today says, give 7 years to Framber Valdez and to Ranger Suarez. No, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
Bro. Yeah. Well, he's you know how fucking Joe Beningo is. He makes no sense.
But that's like 90% of Mets fans right now, dude.
Well, because listen, I can see where the Met fan is coming from, dude. You've been sold a bill of goods by Steve Cohen, and it might be even the Met fans, creating this own narrative, just like the New York Yankees, it's World Series or bust every year. Then you go and steal Juan Soto from the New York Yankees last year and give him 800 billion space bucks. I mean, what the fuck else are the Met fans supposed to expect? And it's different with Pete, man. Pete's an all-time great Met.
I can't argue that. Yeah, you're right about that.
So does that even count for anything? Does tradition count for you guys at all? Like, can't you have one lifetime Met other than Tom Seaver in this fucking century? And I don't really believe in that. Let's just go to Frank real quick, and then we'll wrap this show up, because that's enough of To the Future, Mike.
All we got to do is, and Jeff McNeil at first base. Jeff McNeil. His batting average goes lower and lower and lower. And now they're shopping Lindor. They're shopping Lindor. They're fucking shopping Lindor. How do you fucking trust this team? All they care about is the fucking Cranes crew. The motherfucking Cranes crew.
The who?
Grapefruits? What did you say?
The Grades crew?
Oh, is that the? He was
Yeah.
complaining. What is he complaining about? The Pink Pony Club?
That's
that
what
he
I'm
was
asking
complaining
you about. You're a Met fan. I have no.
I don't. I hate this.
He's
I hate
talking
this
in
guy to death.
tongues.
I can't stand him. Keep in mind, all the players he's screaming about, he wanted off the team. Every one of them.
All the fucking gifts, all the fucking giveaways. The Queens crew. They're gonna even give all the Queens crew.
Oh.
Fucking.
The Queens crew. I heard like 8 different things before Queens crew hit my
Dude,
eardrum.
the way you said that killed me. Oh, the Queen. Like, you literally said it like he was an aborigine that just came out of the jungle. It's like, oh, he's got a bone in his nose. He's saying Grains crew. This he should be in a zoo, this guy.
He wanted nothing to do with these guys. I don't know why he's screaming. He got his wish.
Dude, I can't explain why I love him so much. Like,
because you're not a Mets fan.
If he checks all the boxes of things I should dislike, but I love this guy. And also, shout out to Frank the Tank for losing all of that weight, dude. This guy,
yeah.
His walks on social media and his weight loss journey, if you haven't checked it out, check out his Instagram. It's NJ Tank on Instagram. Dude, unbelievable, motivating, inspiring story. This guy was morbidly obese. I think he's worked himself down to he almost lost 300 pounds at this point, and he's been documenting the whole thing. So shout out to Frank. Frank, don't give yourself don't get healthy and then give yourself a heart attack, all right? Because we want you around. But dude, I'm going to stop this because he just keeps dropping F-bombs. I can see in the fucking closed captions. So, yeah, your fan base isn't happy because of that guy right there in the top corner, Mr. Stearns.
Wow, look at that smile, man.
Let's just hope he doesn't think he's smarter than baseball like Brian Cashman and every other GM in New York, shall we?
Bro, I would sign up for what the Yankees have had the last 10 years right now.
No, you wouldn't. We need a fucking championship, man.
I need to get this team into the play. 2 times in Mets history, they've gotten to the playoffs back-to-back seasons. Can I just get one 5-year stretch of the playoffs just being the norm? Can we start with that? I know it's World Series or bust, but just get me to the
let's
point
crawl
of the
before we
playoffs.
can. It's World Series or bust for us across
For the Yankees.
town. I'm sorry. And I know it. Listen, first of all, I don't agree with it, and it's insane. Okay, only a crazy man would say we're going to win the championship every year. But it's been since 2009, dude, and I'm starting to get fucking tired of this shit.
Can you expect excellence? That's what I want. I want a team where I don't want to go another 16. I don't want to go. I'm with 40 years. I want to be pissed off that we haven't won a World Series in 16 years, but we're in the postseason every year. That's what I want.
I mean, we haven't had a losing season in 35 years. And that's another thing that Yankee fans, I can't stand when they say, listen, I'll fucking say it right now. I'm a Brian Cashman simp. You think you're a simp for fucking Stearns? I got a whole gimp leather suit on for him. Are you kidding me? Like, you guys, I won't say that. Let me just rephrase that. The day Brian Cashman leaves, the New York Yankees are just going to be another team. This guy is so good. He's so good that you've come to take it for granted. And I understand things run their course and stuff like that. But when you don't have a losing season as a general manager in 26 to 27 years, that's unheard of, dude. The consistency, that doesn't happen. Look at all the dynasties that come and go, and then they wind up hitting the skids and having some dark times. There hasn't been a dark time since 1993 when Mike Gallego was wearing number 2 for the New York Yankees, okay? So let that sink in before you fucking touch the panic button. And also, Yankee fans, these guys can develop. These guys can get better. That's why you do have prospects. The Yankee fans are going through this transition right now of we have to deal with development of players, and we're ready to hit the microwave and put our coffee in the microwave for a minute and get it hot now instead of brewing it, and it always tastes better when you brew it yourself. You take your time. But, Mike, if I was you, man, I'd have more urgency as a Mets fan.
I mean, sorry, I'm just plugging my computer in. What I don't want to be that person that says I'm not worried about what the plan is, but there's not much as a fan I could do besides just sit and wait to see what the plan is. And come April, I'll be with everybody with their torches. If the team looks pretty much the way it does now with a couple of additions of low-level guys, but I'm just going to wait. I'm not going to go nuts yet because I'm only not going nuts because I was kind of in agreement with what's going on right now. But I can see why people are pissed off. But in a month, if a few moves are made, everybody will be perfectly fine.
I just want to give a quick shout out to NYM 348. He watches all the time. I appreciate the support, buddy. He's always there in the comments. All they do is cry about Cashman every time I watch Yankee content outside of here. Yeah, absolutely. But listen, man, that's what we do. I mean, complaining is literally, that's what my whole channel pretty much is me complaining with periodic jokes in between it. So, yeah, I mean, that's the greatest part about baseball, dude, is I had two of my buddies come over here for lunch today, man, and we just talked sports for an hour long, and it's like, now I'm like, hey, listen, I'm giving you guys too much content just talking to you. I'm like, can we get microphones in our hand? They're like, can't we just have a normal conversation? So I was like, yes, but I'm leaving empty shells out here on the ground. Mike, we're going to have to sit there, be to our phones, and see what happens. New York Yankees, New York Mets. Got to admit, New York Mets better start making some moves, and the Yankees better start making some moves, or their fans are going to be upset.
Yes.
All right. So, hey, remember, guys, go over to New York Minute. That's NEWYRKMIN on Instagram. Also, go over to PudgyBoyz Sports with a Z on YouTube and also on Instagram. We're going to be doing shows on Monday. Every Monday on New York Minute, you're going to get Mike and the Mad Dog, PudgyBoyz Sports, and New York Minute. And remember, if you can't be good, be bad, baby. Good night, Canada, and bye.